We know that the tier sets are going to be a big thing for the anniversary event, right? It's going to be the #1 thing everyone's going to go chase down. You got to get those tier 2 sets. So here we go. Get every tier 2 set remastered. WoW's anniversary event is huge. Here's what does and doesn't work. Don't waste time. Let's see what the quickest way is to gather these currencies, get our tier sets, and have a good time in this anniversary event. Here we go from Bellular.
World of Warcraft's 20th anniversary event starts October 22nd. It runs for 76 days until January 6th. And within that span of time, we're going to get constant time walking and a whole bunch of content that is centered around the new Celebration Grounds area. That's located just outside the Caverns of Time, and you can get there super easily through the portal rooms in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. There's actually
I will say just one quick thing about this event. I love it when an event brings everybody into a single zone. I think Tanaris is going to be banging, man. I can't wait to see what Tanaris looks like, because not only do you got the event going on, you got 4 world bosses that have been put in that zone too. I think it's going to be a good time. I love just seeing it. Makes the server feel alive when everybody's sitting there. I hope they just don't phase and shard everybody too much. Like, I actually want to see everybody. Should be fun.
Hell of a lot to do. So
hope it feels
first,
like a
I'm going to
festival.
break
Yeah,
down
me too.
all of the content that's coming, how the rewards work, and then how you can earn the new currency, all of course possible with today's sponsor. We're going to teach you backend development with Python and Go. They are boot.dev, and they're not just any programmers, they're also like you and me. Quite literally, they reached out to me because they're viewers of the channel. Now, backend development essentially is building the functionality in a site or an app. It's learning how to fire up a database and connect it all together, make functionality that people can actually use. And professionally, that's obviously valuable. You're looking at average salaries of 100 grand, flexible working schedules, all that good stuff. Personally, well, you'll learn great skills, like, say, Python. And when you know Python, why not try building a Discord bot for your guild, doing fun things like that.
For sure.
And of course, you'll learn on their platform that's got achievements, XP quests, even community boss battles. And it's something they are always developing.
So far, so good.
Like, literally, there's monthly patch notes, like the most recent one where they unveiled their new memory management course. And to go alongside all they do in the site, they have loads of free content, like a 7-hour walkthrough of their Python course to help get you started, explainers of key concepts, and, interestingly for me, a functional programming walkthrough. Just kind of fun because I was 100% object-oriented by training. Computers are awesome.
It's a long ad. Shit.
You can learn skills that will allow you to build cool things with a computer, understand how the web works, and of course improve your job prospects. And even better, at boot.dev/BellularWarcraft, you get 25% off your first purchase. And the way to save the most would be to do the annual plan, and then if it's not for you, well, you can use the 30 days, no questions asked, money back guarantee.
No
the
risk.
biggest new content is
All right, here we go. Back
Depths.
to the content.
It's been remade as an 8-boss raid on LFR, Normal, and Heroic. It drops the loot that you would expect, but with the equivalent item level of Narubar, the current endgame raid.
Yeah.
And
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Isn't this a 15-man raid? It's a 15-manner, isn't it? Like I said before, I know people were against this. I said I wish it was a 40-man raid, and somebody said, oh, 40-man raids are just chaos. But here's the thing. You make the fights based on 40 people being there, so it's not as chaotic. You don't create hyper complex mechanics. The nice thing about a 40-man raid is the tank and spank style, maybe a thing to avoid here or there, but usually if it's a 40-man fight, it's supposed to be kind of easy. Like if you look back at like the old Ragnaros of Classic and stuff like that, there's nothing too crazy in there. But it's a lot of people fighting one boss. I don't know, there's something exciting about it. Just like the Tanaris stuff that I spoke about earlier in the video, I just like it when there's a lot of people in one area. It's part of the MMO experience. I just enjoy it.
Also fill up your Great Vault. Every boss has got revamped mechanics as well.
30.
So this is not just a simple scale it up and call it done. No, they've actually put a lot of effort in.
Same will be able to
And another neat component is that the bosses and mini-bosses drop relic coffer keys. These can actually be used to purchase specific bits of gear from these 3 vendors in the event ground. And depending on your luck, you'll get between 29 and 42 keys a run, and the items cost 40, which is terrific for sorting out a missing slot on any characters.
That's what it's going to be good
Codex
for.
of Chromie.
Getting that missing slot where you just have a piece of gear that's still lingering that you have not been able to get a replacement for yet. This is going to give you heroic level raid gear that you're going to be able to pick the slot for. Because of the currency that you get from it, you're going to be able to use those to buy whatever slot of gear you want from the raid. It's a great backfiller.
This is a 20-player scenario that you can queue for using the Dungeon Finder. Basically, you'll be reliving and defending the opening of
Yes, you get loot from the raid that'll allow you to buy shit. Yes. for specific
Gates of
slots.
Anchorage, which is an event from the game's past. There's a daily queue reward that drops gold, valor stones, upgrade crests, and warbound gear, so it's pretty good for that. And you can also queue from level 15 onwards, so here's to hoping the experience is good for this one. Then we have world bosses and loads of them. Tanaris has got 3,
gonna be awesome.
Doomwalker, Shavanger, and Archivon. Each of course has a loot table, and they do in fact drop their original mounts. Then you've got the Dragons of Nightmare, which are once again back. These are especially important because they've got otherwise unobtainable appearances. You'll find these, of course, in the Hinterlands, Ashenvale, Duskwood, and Feralus, and with the War Within's transmog changes, you'll be able to earn warband-wide appearances here far more easily. Finally, then, there's Azuragos in Ashara and Kazak in the Blasted Lands for a total of 10 world bosses, all of which, of course, are shots at some scaled-up gear. Our next feature is Classic Time Walking. It has the original versions of Deadmine, Zul'Farrak, and both wings of Diamol and Stratholme. Fairly iconic for those players who have been there since the beginning. And unlike other Time Walking weeks, you can queue for these from level 10, which is going to be brilliant for leveling. I mean, think maybe getting 4 levels a dungeon. It should be pretty crazy. There's an achievement for completing one of these dungeons and an achievement for completing all of them, and this is not
the one thing I don't understand about this is Blizzard's completely changing how the scaling works for time walking in this, and it's not just for this event, it's going forward. From now on, you will no longer scale to the dungeon, because, you know, time walking used to scale you back to what it was like. Now they're going to scale the dungeon to you. But if you're level 10 and you queue with an 80, how does that work? I don't understand. Unless you can't queue with somebody the more than 10 levels separation from you, maybe that's the way they're going to do it. Kind of like PvP, but it's supposed to scale in the reverse direction now. It's basically supposed to be kind of like the Chromie stuff, whereas before it was just like this time walking, we're going to scale you back to what you used to be like thing.
One-time thing. This will live on as a proper part of the time walking rotation, though it is going to be active for the entire duration of this event, with the rest of the time walking schedule continuing as normal. And that means that during the weeks where this is active and another time walking is active, you'll be able to blast all the way up to near max level super quick just using the time walking dungeons. The next feature then is guest relations, and that may not seem exciting unless you partook in what it's a follow-up to, which is Secrets of Azeroth.
Duke.
It was a much-loved event that was ran last year, and this is a fairly similar concept. It's framed around solving the problems of characters who attend. Because it's Azeroth, they are a colourful bunch. Expect loads of Easter eggs, and if you complete the whole thing, you'll check off 3 achievements, earning you the detective title and 2 thinking cap.
I'm sure just like the whole Secrets of Azeroth stuff, this will kick off some really cool lore that we'll get to read into once people start to complete this thing.
Mogs. Korak's Revenge also returns, but it hasn't been changed. It's essentially a nod to the original Alteric Valley, complete with dailies, a weekly, and mount rewards. And finally, there's the Celebration Grounds. In them, you'll find 3 main activities. They're called Mount Mania, Fashion Frenzy, and Story Time. They rotate every 15 minutes, and then there are smaller ones like Pet Dress Up, Character Cosplaying, Balloon Rides, Ice Rink, Photo Booth, and Vista Portals. And if you complete all the achievements from doing these, you'll unlock the Cold Flame Tempest mount, which is themed after the
this mount's really easy to get, actually. If you look at these achievements, like the one for the Fashion Frenzy thing that they was just talking about, you don't even have to participate in the fashion transmog shit. All you gotta do is vote. If you vote on it, you know, because that's what they're gonna do. People will do their transmogs, and then you vote who has the best transmog. All you gotta do is participating in the voting process, and you'll get that achievement for that part of it. And that's how it works across the board. Like, all these achievements, they're really easy to get. You don't have to win. Like, you don't have to win the mount off. You just participate in it. You don't have to win the transmog contest. Just participate in it. And you'll get all this shit. It's a participation award. That's what this mount is. So go get it.
Blizzard
Should be an easy one.
Rewards. So, that's a lot of content. Next, though, we've got to talk about the currency. In this event, bronze celebration tokens are used to purchase
for
most
20th
of the
anniversary
new and exciting cosmetics, and thankfully,
tier set.
they are a fairly alt-friendly system. They are warband transferable, which is quite nice, and you earn them through a few one-time quests, a single daily quest, a selection of weekly activities, including new event ones and existing War Within ones. What's important to note, though, is that those only reward tokens once per week across your entire warband, so you don't need to mass farm all of these weeklies on all of your characters.
Nice.
The big thing, though, is that once you earn 100 tokens across your warband, you'll unlock an achievement called Token Collector. And when you do, this will allow you to earn tokens from various repeatable, uncapped sources across your warband. And just to get a sense of numbers here, the big ticket reward that most people are excited about, of course, are the Tier 2 remakes. Your first purchase costs 60 tokens, the second costs 40, and the rest will only cost 20 for a combined cost of...
I'm not going to lie, the Death Knight one, I mean, as a whole, it's okay. I just hate hate it when the damn elbows are out. I don't understand that whole theme. Like, if you're this heavily armored and this badass, why the fuck are your elbows out? I always hate it when the transmog looks. I have to put a t-shirt under it or something. But overall, I do like this Death Knight set, and I am going to go get it, of course. There's some really good keepers in here.
320 tokens.
Yeah, I'll put the shirt on for
320 plus some more is basically our big goal. First, though, we need to get 100 tokens, so let me break that down for you. Bear in mind the Blizzard may tweak a few numbers here and there before this hits live, but basically, here's how the whole thing works. To start you off, there are 2 introductory quests at the event ground that get you 7 tokens in total. They're really quick, and you'll also be able to pick up a quest to defeat the final boss of Blackrock Depths, which will be worth 5 tokens.
There you go.
Then there's the daily quest called Celebrate Good Fun. It's really simple, and completing it gets you 3 tokens and a 10% rep and XP buff that stacks on top of the event's baseline 10% buff, which is very nice indeed.
Nice.
Our next set of earnings then are through the weekly quests. Now these weekly
So you're gonna
quests,
do the dailies and then the weeklies. This is basically, you want to run through all this shit and get to 100 tokens as fast as you can, and you're gonna be able to purchase all these tier sets pretty quickly.
in terms of token rewards, are once per week warband wide. So you can complete them on any character, but if you do the same quest on 2 characters, the second character won't get any tokens. They'll still get rewards, but they just won't be as good. The upshot though is that
Charbs coming in with the sub. Thank you so much. Death Knight of our Scourge. Thank you, Charbs.
you do
9
not need
months.
to farm
My
these
God.
on every single character like mad to maximize your token gains. And they all basically work the same way. Your first completion earns you 3 tokens and a cache of Bronze Celebration treasures, with repeated ones just awarding the cache, with that cache having slightly worse gear. There are 5 of these in total, 1 to defeat the 3 world bosses in Tanaris, 1 to earn 500 honor in Korak's Revenge, 1 to
Okay.
complete Chromie's Codex, another to do 5 time walking dungeons, and 1 to defeat the final boss of the Blackrock Depths raid, which again, you could just quickly do on LFR because you will actually be able to queue up for just the final boss wing. So that's pretty damn
nice.
handy. Doing all of these will get you 15 tokens a week, plus lots of other resources, which is brilliant for your alts. And there is also another weekly for battle pets that will drop too, for a complete total of 17 a week. Then we've got the various Khazalgar weeklies. So the Theater Troop, Snuffling, Weaver's Court, and the Special Assignment.
Oh
World
wow, I
Quest
didn't know this. So all the quests, all the dailies that we already do in Khazalgar are going to start to give bronze tokens during the event? Oh, damn. So you're going to get 17 just from the event itself off the bat. And then you'll be able to do
will
these
give
too.
you 1 token each, while Call of the World Soul and Archives will give you 2. Each weekly event also has got an associated quest which will give you 2 coins, and you'll also get 1 from the PvP weekly. All in all, it should be about 9 a week. And put simply, you can expect to earn just over 60 tokens in your first week. That's enough to purchase your first Tier 2 remaster.
Nice.
Got to imagine that'll be judgment for most people. And that will get you most of the way to the Token Collector achievement, with you being able to finish that achievement in your second week. But
So yeah, second week you'll get the token collector achievement. Not to mention, once you bought your first tier set, the other ones start to become cheaper. So yeah, you'll be able to, by the end of the second week, you'll be able to get a ton of tier sets.
all this together, the daily quest can get you 21 a week, the event weeklies will give you 17 a week, and then the Khazalgar weeklies give you 9 a week, for a total of 47 tokens a week. Of course, by week 2, you will unlock the Token Collector achievement,
Exactly.
and that
Once
is
you get
going
the
to boost
achievement,
our earnings way further.
get even more.
It unlocks repeatable token earnings from doing content, which does mean that you'll be able to farm all this stuff out like crazy on your alts if you really want to. So a full clear of the Blackrock Depths raid will earn you between 8 and 12 a week. Now, we do
Nice.
believe that's still on a weekly lockout because it's a raid and it's per boss, not per difficulty. But that basically means you can complete Heroic in your main, you can do LFR in your alt, and you'll get tokens for both. The Chromie's Codex and Time Walking Classic queues will each award 2 tokens as well when you've got this achievement, though for some reason in PTR, I was able to get them without the achievement, so that may just be a bug. World bosses will also drop a token, as will the Korak's Revenge dailies. So with that, you'll be able to get loads, and it is hard to say exactly how these will work. Some features have been really annoying to test in PTR. You just cannot get enough people to do the Chromie event most of the time, and Blizzard have been constantly tweaking the numbers. But basically, all bets will be off, and you'll just be able to farm up in an uncapped fashion. Whenever we fully understand all of that, I will have a guide for you. Let's talk
Nice.
about the rewards then. The most important ones are the Tier 2 remakes. They do cost 320 tokens in total, and they're sold by Treya. Boba Dormu sells the Time Walking Classic items
That's 320 for all of them he's talking about.
or Time Warp badges,
not just
but
for
most
one.
notably, he's got, well, a large selection, but also weapons that are from classic Season of Discovery. Then you'll find historian Maddie, who has got new rewards as well. There's a ring, head, back, one-handed sword, and shield that are all inspired by the Blizzard Employee Service rewards, as well as the Little Doomy Pet and bags of Time Warped badges.
Nice.
Now, those bags have got 20 badges and they cost 1 token. That's really not a great deal, and I think that essentially just exists so that at the end of the event, you're not wasting your leftover tokens. She also sells 2 mounts, pets, toys, and transformation items. You'll then find storekeeper Reginald. He's really important because he's got previous anniversary event rewards. These are things like the Onyxian Whelpling, the Baby Blizzard Bear, Hatespark the Tiny Little Nefarian, the Molten Corgi, and 2 mounts, the Corehound and the Obsidian Worldbreaker. These were the big headline rewards from past events, and the NPC actually says it could be 5 or 10 years before he returns, so yeah, don't expect him back next year. Definitely try to get those. Then to finish us off, Grably sells a bunch of titles, and over in Hillsbred Foothills, where the original Alteric Valley NPCs were, you'll actually find the time-displaced PvP vendors. They're cool.
This is great. Now, I think PvP reputation was a thing that was purchasable, but it was taken off the board. It's no longer going to be a thing. A lot of people got
They
upset
actually
from
sell
that.
a bunch of previously unobtainable items. They cost Time Warp badges and Marks of Honor, and this does include some nice faction-specific rewards. Another thing that will be quite big is gear rewards for your alts. Those
all that
weeklies
out of
drop
my
caches. The queues drop caches. So by doing those, you'll be swimming in coffer keys, and you'll get lots of starting gear for your characters, and that's not even counting you having 10 world bosses worth of loot to do on those characters, plus the time walking event
Yeah, it's a
chests,
ton.
of which there will be many. And also, time walking will be absurdly fast for leveling this time round. So that's quite a lot of stuff, but technically it's not everything. Patch
plan.
1105 has got more stuff in it, and you can learn more about that with this video next.
Great video. Yeah, I mean, basically that quick summary of all the ways you can get the badges, or get the bronze currency, or whatever it's going to be called, that's a big one. You're going to want to get those quick, get your tier set quick, and then once you get that token collector achievement right here that he
These were
talked
people
about,
uncapped sword.
that's the real, like, that opens the floodgates. Once you've got 100 bronze celebration tokens, it nerfs the shit out of all the rest of the ones you're going to get in terms of like how you can grind them out. And then also the tier set bonuses become at a discount once you get the first one. So you'll be able to quickly buy all the tier sets. I'm sure people are going to be degenerates. A lot of people are going to get that first tier set quickly. They're going to hit this quickly and then just burn out the entire event in the first 2 weeks. And then they're going to look around and be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now, Blizzard? I don't know, go do the raid, gear out some more, who knows. But it's going to be a fun event. I'm excited for it.